Are we going for the two nerds rant on the fact that Sony sucks more dick now?
Yes, yes, yes. If I'm not mistaken, the .2 Hawk glitch should be fixed by now. And if it's not, Sledgehammer Games. Let's talk about this goddamn fucking Sony company shit.
One more time. We're on episode 2 of our rant against Sony.
One more time.
Sony's stupid.
We're on TNR episode like 8 or 9 or something.
And we're coming back.
TNR Sony episode 2. Back where it all started.
We're going back to the company that literally spawned TNR and Joe's fucking attack against them. We're back at it again because they just announced that they are moving forward on a Morbius movie. Morbius. Mind you, Morbius is completely fucking out of the nowhere reaches of Marvel Comics.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Because it's an absolute shit show that they're doing.
They're moving forward. And they have, before they've released one movie.
They haven't even done their quote-unquote Venom movie, let alone give us any sort of poster or trailer. But you know what's coming up next, ladies and gents? Morbius. Oh, that was a headshot.
Dude. They're moving forward with their Spider-Verse. But the only things we know about the Spider-Verse now, the only things we know about the Spider-Verse so far is that Spider-Man's not in it. And 2, the first movie, the Venom movie, just started production like a month and a half ago. And they're moving forward. Oh, and did you see the Black Cat and Sable movie? They described it as the Thelma and Louise of superhero movies. I was like, give me a break. Are you kidding me? You haven't released one movie and you're already fucking yourself on a movie that doesn't exist yet?
No, man, you don't get it, though. Sony knows what the hell's up. Don't you understand? They gave Spider-Man to the right people, but it's still their property, so they have the rights to do this kind of bullshit. God, they're fucking mentally challenged seals all over again. But yeah, if you all don't know who Morbius is, he is a scientist. I haven't really read much about him. I did a quick little scan on him in the interwebs before this. He is a scientist on Earth 616 that had a deficiency or something, and he started to do tests on himself with vampire bats and electroshock therapy, and it ultimately made him a pseudo vampire. And his run-ins with Spider-Man are literally the only thing that his first run-in in the Marvel Universe, in terms of the greater MCU, is literally with Spider-Man. The only other things that he's attached to are things that Fox owns. And guess what? I highly doubt Sony's ever gonna work with Fox. But Morbius can stand on his own, don't you know? He's great. He's so established, and he doesn't need any other backup story. It's not like he, fights the X-Men or deals with Blade or deals with Spider-Man. He's his own guy because logic, and they think it's the best thing ever. Stupid fucking Sony, man. But it's like he deals with Spider-Man when he turns into a he gets the 8 arms due to this I'm assuming I can't remember that arc of Spider-Man, but he gets the 8 arms situation, and Morbius starts to hunt him down because he's on a rage, and Peter basically learns that if he takes Morbius's blood, it nullifies his situation with his 8 arms. But that's not needed in, a Morbius movie at all. It's not like he's that connected to Spider-Man. But wait, he's a part of the Spider-Man Sonyverse. Without Spider-Man, mind you, without Spider-Man.
Quad.
Holy shit! What the was that? Okay, Joe. Jesus Christ.
No, but it's so dumb. Sony is so up their own ass. It's like, oh my god.
They don't even have anything to show for their current track record.
That's my favorite part.
Slewing out.
That's my favorite part, is the fact that they're hyping up this universe and they haven't done anything yet. They have so far all they've done is they have a Venom movie that is being compared to Zombieland. And the people that tried to correct me and say no, they didn't say it was compared to Zombieland in the last TNR. Yes, they did. If you go back and watch the interviews with what's her face, Amy Pascal or whatever, she compares the movie to Zombieland.
Kevin Feige.
She deliberately says if you like Zombieland, you'll like the Venom movie. Here's my quad.
Jesus, here's Joe
Bam,
popping
bam,
off.
bam.
Holy sweet mother of God.
But so first we have the Venom movie that's compared to Zombieland. We're gonna have a Black Cat and I can't even put
Silver.
and Silver. We're gonna have a Black Cat and Silver movies that's being compared to Thelma and Louise. It's like, and now we have a Morpheus movie, which knowing that they're gonna try and compare it to Dracula or something. It's like you guys are a wreck. To the point that it's hilarious to me. The people who are trying to say the Venom movie is going to be Agent Venom, do you really think Sony knows who Agent Venom is? Like, do you legitimately think they know what that timeline even is?
Such a disaster already.
Did you get team killed by paratroopers?
Yeah. The fact still remains, they are so busy blowing themselves over a movie they did not make, thinking it is just the greatest thing ever because...
Homecoming. Talking about Homecoming.
It's theirs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sony wants you to believe that Spider-Man Homecoming was 100% theirs.
And thus this bullshit of their Spider-Verse is becoming a thing because they think they can just again, this video is basically going to be us just reopening the wound that we already put into them in our first episode and blatantly saying how much of a shit show it is and how much it will never change.
Sony is the EA of movies. They know nothing about the actual craft. They just know how to buy the right things and shove it in people's faces in the right way. They do not care about the craft, they care only about what makes money. And if something is a piece of shit but it still makes money, they will act like they will act like it's good.
Yeah, the fact that you think all of this stuff that Spider-Man has achieved is your doing is cute.
Oh, Advanced Warfare.
I'm trying to think of what else they could try to throw at us to make them think that they know what they're doing.
We know that Tom Holland is not involved with Sony. That's been confirmed. So, Tom Holland's Spider-Man contract does not make him part of Sony. And Holland has stated this. People saying, like, oh, Holland might make a cameo with Spider-Man. No, he won't. It has been stated that he won't. Tom Holland has nothing to do with the non-MCU Marvel movies. Holland will only be Spider-Man in the movies that are officially part of the MCU. I don't know what my point is with that. I'm really just backing up your statement, Wyatt, that they're just jerking themselves off on accomplishments that weren't even theirs. People loved Spider-Man Homecoming, so they're like, oh, Spider-Man Homecoming, we should make a whole Spider-Man universe then. Here's Zombieland Venom, here's Thelma and Louise, Black Cat and Silver. They're trying so hard to bank off of the success of Spider-Man Homecoming, and that wasn't even their movie. I know Sony made the movie, but can you tell me with a straight face that if Sony was not involved with the MCU, that Spider-Man Homecoming would have been as good? No, it would not have. Spider-Man Homecoming was good because of the MCU, because of the power that the MCU has working behind it, and because of the power that Marvel has working behind it. Compare the MCU movies to every Sony-made movie ever, and tell me with a straight face that Spider-Man Homecoming would have been as good as it was without MCU's help.
There's so many bad things happening in terms of comic book movies with them, and just get rid of all of your properties. Just go back to working on freaking TVs and shit.
Go back to making Blu-ray players. I think the whole fanboy culture is what's contributing to this happening. When I say fanboy culture, I don't say usually the term fanboy is used like derogatorily. I don't see it that way. To me, I just think when I say fanboy culture, what I mean is just the fact that whenever Marvel announces something, people are automatically hyped. Whenever DC announces something, people are automatically hyped. Whenever there's a new Star Wars thing, people are automatically hyped. There's a whole fanboy culture. And Sony is trying to take advantage of that. And that's the problem with it. Sony is trying to take advantage of the fanboy culture. Is the fact that the fact that they're pumping out this shit. They're pumping out 3 movies without even giving us one. And like it's and Wyatt and I, we don't consider Spider-Man Homecoming to be a Sony movie. It's not.
No.
It is an MCU movie. It was a joint effort. And it's like I just ranted about for like 58 seconds. If the MCU was not involved with Spider-Man Homecoming, it would not have been as good as a movie. And the thing is the people who are defending anything, not just Marvel or anything. If you defend anything without any real evidence to back you up, like if something gets announced and you are automatically excited for it and you get mad at people for being suspicious, if you're one of those people, stop. Seriously, stop. You are the reason why companies will shove us shit with our favorite brands' names on it and expect us to be okay with it.
Example, Battlefront 2.
The fact that there are people who actually defend it because they like Star Wars or because they like EA. I don't know why you would like EA, but do whatever I don't fucking care. Actually, yeah, I do care. That's a rant for another day. The whole thing with that is, like, if I'm a fan of something, I am a huge Star Wars fan. Battlefront 2 fucking hurt for me, dude. I put hundreds of hours into the original Battlefront 2. That shit fucking hurt for me, that it was as shitty as it was, and how as half-assed as it was. But the thing is, I didn't buy into Battlefront 2 either. I didn't just defend it because it was what it was. Unpopular opinion of mine, I don't like the Deadpool movie. I don't. I thought the Deadpool movie was cliche. I thought it was predictable. And those two things should never describe anything with Deadpool's name on it. But you know what? You can think what you want about the Deadpool movie. It's your opinion. But I don't just blindly defend it because I love the character. I love Deadpool as a character. That's why I didn't like the movie. If you like something and you're passionate about something, you should expect that thing to be respected. It's the whole reason why I'm so critical of 343's Halo games, because I fucking love Halo, and I hate to see the way it's being treated right now. If you love something, if you love a franchise, you should be demanding better, but if you know that people are capable of more. Oh my god, how did you let that happen? The fanboy culture has its positives and negatives, but so if you're someone who gets excited for something that has been proven to be good consistently, you have every right to be excited for it. But if you are getting excited for something when it's coming from a company that has shown that they have no respect for the actual material and that they only care about money, and you're still getting excited for it just because there's a couple words in the title that you're excited about, stop.
I was watching Kevin Smith's Fat Man on Batman, and it was his review on Justice League, and he was like, you can say tiny things. Like he openly admits it. He goes, it's not great. It's like he had a lot of shit to rip into, but he's like, I'm a hardcore DC fanboy to the point where a few words, he's like, I explode in my pants. He's like, but at the same time, that's just how it will be, because he never expects these movies to ever be a thing. And at the same time, he does point out, just it's the tiny little things in the shitty movie that you can be hyped about. But he still looks at it as a whole and says, nah, Justice League had its flaws. And that's and Sony's going to have its flaws all the time because Sony does not know what the hell they're doing. That is why they gave creative freedom of their showrunner of all more superhero movies, being Spider-Man, up for grabs, because they realized they had zero idea what the fuck they're doing. And it's and don't get me wrong, it's they're like you've said in the other one with our first video, it's Amazing Spider-Man is trash, but it has its great moments. There are bits
enjoyable
in
trash.
That movie. Yeah, and it's and there are bits in these movies that you can be happy about.
Yeah. It's I like it. I like Amazing Spider-Man. I like Amazing Spider-Man 2. Those movies are fucking terrible. I can admit that. I don't go into a Spider-Man. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man is my all-time favorite superhero. I can recite to you the different universes and timelines of Spider-Man. But despite that, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 are fucking terrible movies. I know that. As a Spider-Man fan, I got a lot of enjoyment out of Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 because they were enjoyable fan-servicey moments. But as a movie, it's fucking terrible, both of them. One a little less so than two. If you are settling for that low of a bar of quality, then we're going to keep getting shit like this. Sony is doing the whole Spider-Man extended universe in response to them knowing that people will eat that shit up with no criticism. Companies are seeing that. They're seeing that people are getting hyped for something just because there's a word in the title. They see that people are defending shit movies and half-assed movies just because it has a name in the title. Just because you love something doesn't mean you can't be critical of it.
I think like Kevin Smith in certain ways he describes things, and there's one thing that I can think of. Back in Comic-Con, he talks about DC, and he goes, DC came out with some guns blazing this year with Wonder Woman and shit. And he was like, here they come out with like a huge old schlong, and it's just like, here's what we got. And it's like, but then here comes Marvel with like the Titanic-sized schlong, and it's like, suck that up. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, both are enjoyable, but one obviously has a lot more going for it because it knows what the fuck it wants. It's like, but now, with Sony's doing the same thing with Spider-Man, but it's literally just a tiny little one going and saying, ooh, Spider-Man's big now because we thought that you liked it because of our quote-unquote Spider-Man movie.
It's like Sony sucked the MCU's massive schlong and was like, yeah, that means my schlong's big. But no, you just suck the schlong. Just because you were associated with someone else's big schlong, that doesn't make your schlong any bigger. Yeah, demonetize my video, YouTube.
Dude, I don't give a damn anymore. This is bullshit. But it's like...
My channel's dead anyways. But I think what I said before about how Sony is the EA of movies, I think what's happening to EA right now is going to happen to Sony. Sony's going to pump out a whole bunch of half-ass shit, and people are going to get tired of it. People are going to be like, hey, stop. You're disrespecting something we like. You bought the license to something we like to make us like it more and to help other people like it, and you're disrespecting it. What's happening to EA right now is going to happen to Sony.
It's the fact that they have the title, have this brand that people love things for other reasons, and they're realizing this, and they're taking advantage of you. They're not looking at it and saying, hey, we enjoy this just as much as you. It's, hey, we can buy that. Like, do everything we could to get people, quote-unquote, hyped, drop it out there like a steaming shit, and there you go. Now you have your Venom in the movies. We already had a Venom in the movies, and it already was trash. And that was actually with somebody who tried to make it fairly good. Somebody will talk shit about Spider-Man, don't pull a Spider-Man 3, but at the same time, Spider-Man 3 did have a director that cared about the character. It's shown in the first two Spider-Man movies. Right now, what Sony is doing is it's like, now Sony does not care. They don't. They just see it as, hey, we let Spider-Man have some friends over there with Marvel, so what if we were to now back off of that? The fact that people are going to eat this up is going to be the thing that's going to be the downfall of some of these companies, which is ultimately going to be good.